Kia ora, Lara here, and I am going to put together another double spread in my 6x8 album for the COAPA Cutfiles 20 Days of Christmas and Summer Cutfiles. And today I'm going with one of the Christmas themes, which is traditions. So one of the traditions in our home is something that my daughters actually started quite a few years ago now, where they have a gingerbread house decorating afternoon or evening. And so that's what I'm going to be documenting or scrapbooking today in my 6x8 album. And so I've just found a doily here, and I'm going to be using the Christmas wreath cut file, which is sort of over to the left there, and I've cut that in half already, and I cut that from some of that sort of craft cardstock paper, and I then cut that in half. So I cut it with a dimension or the height of, I think I did it at 7.8 inches or something like that. So I have cut the doily in half as well, and just used some tape around the center of it to stick that down. Now I'm just going to run around the outside edge to stick down the last little pieces, so that there's just a little bit more of adherence on there, but I didn't need it to be stuck down perfectly. Now, on reflection at this stage, I should have done some splattering on the background, but I didn't, so I'll bring that in later on. So if you're doing something along these lines, have a think about that background. Because I've chosen just sort of a pale blue cardstock, it lacks a little bit of interest compared to the pattern papers or the other backgrounds I often use. So I'm just poking out some of the little pieces on this gorgeous Christmas wreath cut file by Confessions of a Paper Addict. And remember that you can get 25% off currently and right through till the 20th of December, that's New Zealand time. Now I'm just sticking the cut file down, and I'm using some liquid glass, and I'm just dabbing it at various points around the place. Because it's a really light cut file and I haven't bagged it, it doesn't need a huge amount of adhesive to get it stuck down, but just dotting around at various points. The biggest thing when I go to stick these down is making sure that they're going to fit on the page, but that the cut edges line up at each point. And so it does have a little bit of movement up the top there, which has worked really well, and it's just sort of bringing in that interest. Now, a lot of the other people working on these 20 days of cut files have been backing a lot of these cut files, and they look absolutely stunning, but I also really like the natural look of these cut files. Like, I've left this one here unbacked. I do add a few little embellishments and bits and pieces into it towards the end, but I do actually really enjoy the cut files in their simplicity without too much going on behind them. So sticking this down again, I've actually just had a weekend away with a couple of friends at my parents' beach house working on our scrapbooks and our pages, and between the three of us, we'd decided that one of us would bring their cricket, and I was going to do a lot of these pages while I was there. However, she brought the charger but not the cricket, and then another friend who joined us on the Saturday brought her cricket out, but it's due for a blade replacement, so it wasn't cutting terribly well. So here I am, after having hoped to have caught up on a lot of these over the weekend. I am now back to doing them the night before. Anyway, I found this Picture My Life card that I've just trimmed off some pieces from it, and I thought that would be quite cool with the title as a title card as well. And then I found another couple of Picture My Life cards that I'm using to just sort of add some interest behind some more photos of the gingerbread houses. So the photo on the left there is the houses just sitting there. They don't have their roofs on yet, because people might want to put stuff in them, is her normal theory, and they are waiting for the icing. She's got the table all covered and decorated with all the lollies and bits and pieces in the middle, and her friends come along and they enjoy time together and chatting and decorate their house together. So she did this with high school friends, and now she's doing it with workmates, as well as some of those friends who still came when she was at high school. So I found another little piece, a Picture My Life card actually, and trimmed it down around the photo of the undecorated cakes, and I'm adding my journaling down the bottom of this Picture My Life card, and basically saying similar to what I said before about the gingerbread house decorating party that she hosts each year. she was quite happy that I was away this weekend, but she was disappointed that my husband wasn't as well, because after these parties it's often a very sticky, messy kitchen and living room. So it's quite nice that I wasn't there and away scrapbooking instead. So now I've sort of had a look around for some other embellishments that I can add to this. I had wanted to add that spotty ribbon over to the left, but it just wasn't going to work. A little bit too much dimension and size and things like that. But I found these cute spotty and plaid hearts, as well as a nice little wooden heart to tuck in there. And this is the point sort of where I realised that I needed to have decorated or added some interest to the background. So I'm just sticking some silver gems just around at different points, and then I think, oh, I'm going to add these in to be like the reindeer's eye and the little bits on the lolly wrapper and part of the heart and the gingerbread man's eyes. So I've added those in, and now I'm going to cover up the photos because I don't want splatters on the photos, but I don't actually mind if splatters go anywhere else on the layout. So I've covered those main sort of important parts up, and just opening up some gilt and white acrylic gloss sprays, and I'm just sort of splattering them on at various points around it, trying to get a little bit of interest on that nice blue cardstock in the background. I love the blue cardstock, but it just lacked the interest that I like to have on my pages. And here we have it. I'm really happy with how this has turned out, and I hope you've enjoyed watching. Remember, you can get 25% off this month, and check out all of the other designs that are linked below for people who have also carried on day 6 of the Confessions of a Paper Addict 20 Days of Cutfiles. Thanks for watching.